Welcome back to the weekly news roundup. This is the business and the Sillyville editions. These you catch the show You can catch the show live 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time if you'd like to catch the show live. So let's go ahead and dive on in. First, we have an update. If you remember, the Snapchat had a filter that would test your speed when you were Snapchatting, and it caused a bunch of stupid teenagers to drive their car into a tree. And caused a big lawsuit where people are saying, it's the Snapchat's fault. No, it would be your kid's fault, actually. But anyway, because they're in the middle of a lawsuit, they did decide that they're going to pull the speed filter that was linked to such lawsuits. And so, yeah, whatever that's worth. Okay, I'm okay with that one way or the other as a solution. Why not? But yeah, I want to teach your kids not to be stupid behind the wheel. This is a car, not a toy. But hey, we are a society of infants, so what can I say? Google is ending its attack on its URL bar and resuming showing full addresses. Yeah, they're like, it didn't help security. Probably it actually made things worse. You think? If someone can't see and make sure that you're on a right site? Yeah, basically, if you use a Mac, this is how Safari's always done this. We have a bad rainstorm coming in right now, guys. All right. So anyway, Safari on a Mac has always done this. You go to the website and it will just show you the first part of the URL bar, which I always thought was really stupid because it's important information. You know, what URL page am I on sometimes? Well, Chrome decided to get the idea to start doing that as well. And so, but it turned out that it ended up being a bad deal for them. There was a whole lot of kickback on that. And people were like, this is really stupid. And so they're like, well, we decided to end the experiment. No, it wasn't an experiment. It was in your main browser. So they backtracked on that. And And so they're putting the full URL back in the browser, I think as of 91, maybe. I don't know, whatever the next version of Chrome, you can expect to see your full address bar back. And I think you can truncate it if you want to. Yeah, good. And I always thought that was stupid to try and break that up. All right, so 5 new bills are aiming to break up big tech. The politicians are claiming to take interest in doing this, but who knows if that's actually going to happen or not. There's series of different new bills, and they each kind of target a different thing here. So the 5 bills, all of them attempt to target what is oftentimes going on, anything from walled gardens like Apple is doing, preventing you from sideloading stuff. Of course, that's kind of our next story. They want to prevent lateral moves and horizontal moves like Facebook is doing, where they're just buying up companies that could possibly outcompete them. Or just shutting down other companies. Ad marketing stuff like Google positioning themselves with ad marketing or products and things like that. So there's a series of bills that are coming down, and each one of them is kind of looking at different things. So I think it's probably possible that they're putting out so many of them just throw a bunch of stuff against the wall and see if any of these stick or not. So these are all just introduced. Nothing's been voted on yet. They're just kind of discussing them. So we have the, let's see if I can find all of these guys are at. American Choice and Innovation Online Act forbids platforms from favoring their own products and services. So they say here that this is going to be mostly Apple, but I actually think Google as well, because Google really does prioritize people who purchase ads through them over other people as well. The other one, the ending platform monopolies would prevent large platforms with those at least 50 million monthly active users and market cap of 600 billion or more from owning or operating businesses that would cause them to advantage their own products and services or disadvantage those of their competitors. So app stores would be the potential violators here. Also possibly Amazon with, I actually think there's another one specifically for products in Amazon, but one of the ones in here is Amazon prioritizing their own Amazon brands over other brands as well. Then, of course, how do you know who goes on top? Is it now just pay to play? Well, Amazon can do more ads anyway, you know. The Platform Competition and Opportunity Act. And this one would require companies proposing mergers or acquisitions, not the government, to prove their case. Affected companies have 500 million monthly active users or more, or 100 million active sellers and profits, or a market cap of 600 billion or more. This bill is the only one to include business users or seller accounts. So you're thinking eBay and Amazon type accounts on those. They said, let's see. They said 5, but I only remember reading 4. Maybe I missed one. The Merger Filing Fee Modernization Act aligns with bipartisan legislation proposed by the Senate. It would significantly increase filing fees for mergers, directing the money to regulators in the Department of Justice and Federal Trade Commission. Once again, with all these laws, I don't really see any of these working or doing anything at all. It's just a power play to say, see, we're trying to be in charge. If you really want to hurt these big companies, you just need to stop using their products. Just a thought. Of course, Tim Cook weighed in on sideloading is not in the best interest of users. It actually is, but it's like, but what if you sideload something with malware? Yeah, what if you do sideload something with malware? I'm not saying you should make it easy. I'm just saying you should make it possible. Let me decide. Because if I want to sideload a free and open source application, I'm going to do that. I'm not going to download something I found on some shady place on the internet. However, I wager that I'm unusual in that I'm going to actually take a little bit of care to audit my code. So whatever that happens to be worth. But Tim Cook, there's a big interview, and he covered this among other topics inside of Apple. But one of these is just tangential to what I've said a lot. If you want to make Apple immune to all these lawsuits that's coming down the pipeline, the best first and foremost thing you do is you just need to get there and say, hey, you can sideload stuff as well. You can have an alternative app store as well. That's okay. So whatever that happens to be. And now we're on to a block of Microsoft and Windows. First and foremost, after saying Windows 10 will be the last Windows because it's software as a service because, we're just going to profit off you forever. Well, now they're saying they're going to kill off Windows 10 in 2025. So if you're running Windows 7 still, don't worry. Just hold out for another 4 more years. And maybe you could upgrade to Windows 11. But they're going to support Windows 10 at least until 2025. But that usually means Windows 11 is probably right around the corner. And they're giving businesses and companies 4 years to get off of the Windows 10 platform. That was, supposed to be the last version. And I have coming out this week as well. It'll actually have come out yesterday when the edited version of this video comes out, but it'll come out tomorrow as I'm recording this live. Catch the show live 9 p.m. We're talking about the speculation on Windows. What is Windows 10 going to have according to my crystal ball, my best guesses as to what's going on? But anyway, Windows 10 Home and Pro will have an end of life October 14th, 2025. No word on the servers or enterprise editions. Now, those of you running 7 and 8, you might get a free upgrade path to Windows 11. There you go. 100 million Windows users may turn their OS up to 11. I'm going to guess, since the way the world goes, Windows 10 is probably going to be a better operating system to use than Windows 11. That's my guess, and I go into a little bit more in the video I'm doing on the Windows 11 predictions. But still, 100 million PCs that run Windows 7, many of them for good reason, despite the fact no OS no longer receives reason. If there's a chance of convincing those customers to upgrade to Windows 11, the process needs to be free of charge. There you go. It still is, by the way, free of charge if you want to upgrade from Windows 7 to Windows 10. I actually did an 8 to 10 on my Surface Pro 1 recently because I want to have one native Windows computer laying around, and the Surface Pro is tiny, small, keeps me a little Windows computer floating around. So there you have it, guys. And then there's a little bit of stuff about Windows 11, but here's a little bit of an article. Windows 11 leak reveals a new UI, start menu, and more. Honestly, to me, I don't know if this thought's going to comfort you. It seems to be inspired by Deepin in many places. We're going to inspire this from the Chinese software. But anyway, here is some screenshots. You can see here that it looks like they had efficient mode, or is it the fashion mode? Whatever mode they're saying it is in Deepin, where you have all your little panels are on the bar in the middle, and it's like a pile of wasted space. This is a bunch of nonsense layout, in all honesty. There is, in theory, an option to throw it over onto the left where it more traditionally is. Of course, they've gotten rid of the live tiles, and they've basically made it very much like a smartphone. Here's some recommended crap. You know, OneDrive, we're going to recommend you put everything in our cloud system. There you have it. Here's a little bit of video stuff. And I'm not sure if there's audio on that. Woohoo, look at that. Let me roll that up a little bit for you guys. See here, we're just kind of pulling stuff up, clicking on that. See that slide out menu there, very much like Deepin. You can see it looks very much like Deepin, doesn't it? Does this not, if you guys have used the Deepin desktop environment, this looks like Deepin. It's not exactly like Deepin, of course, but it looks like Deepin. Here is it with the all the way left side bar. Here's with the menu open. It looks fine. I think that this looks to me is an improvement over Windows 10, but I would still prefer the Windows 7 model. But I do think this does look like an improvement over Windows 10. Here is Windows 11 search interface. Of course, it's going to tie everything. The File Explorer. Of course, Windows 11 seems to be based a lot on the Windows 10X project, which was kind of an all-online base and based around OneDrive. I speculate a little bit about that on my video on my Windows predictions. Here is some widgets. So I guess now we're borrowing from Plasma. See, if you guys just switch to Linux, you guys get all this already. You know, you don't have to wait. And you don't have to have a software system that spies on you. So here's some more here. This is actually a really cool feature where you can pull down and just have basically build a little grid. Now, it is kind of annoying in that it doesn't appear to have a full-fledged maximize button. It's you click this and you put it somewhere. What if I want it maximize? I don't see an option for that right there. Maybe you double click. I don't know. But this is partially cool and partially concerning to me. Here's the new Windows Store. And, oh, there's a new startup sound. There you go. So there's what it looks. Stop. You don't need to keep playing it. All right. You started once. That's enough. All right. Here's Xbox Experience. Woo! We're going to experience Xbox. Why can you not get rid of that crap? It's like, okay, dude, I'm not interested in gaming crap or anything. Just get rid of the stupid crap. Nope. No, bro. Can't do it. You got to have your stupid gaming platform on here. Anyway, there's the new Xbox app on there. So there you have it. And June 24th is when they are going to start making some announcements on that. Well, if you want to help support the channel, we do have affiliates. Today we are highlighting ExpressVPN. So tlm.li/EV. If you are in need of a VPN, if you visit coffee shops, need to break out of a geolocation or secure your IP connections from, whatever purpose you're needing to do that, ExpressVPN is an excellent option for doing that. tlm.li/EV. You can connect up to 5 devices, and one of those could even be a router to connect everything on your network to the VPN should you need to do that. Well, guys, let's go to Sillyville. And first up in Sillyville, after we were already talking about Windows 11, Microsoft officially teasing it, some people in the Windows 11 beta here, he's here in Cortana saying Windows 11 isn't real. So here is, you can see here that they are utilizing the new platform. This is the new one. It says Windows 11, and now here's Cortana. Let me turn up the volume here.
Is Windows 11 real?
According to Microsoft.com, there will be no Windows 11. With Windows 10, Windows became a service, and instead of a new standalone version, Microsoft is pushing biannual feature updates for Windows 10 every 6 months.
So there you have it, guys. On Windows 11, Cortana says Windows 11 is not going to exist. That, guys, is how screwed up Microsoft is. Just saying, guys. Just saying. Well, Doom now runs on an IKEA smart light bulb, but you'll see here that the video is gone. They provided this update that the creators of the mob, Next Hack, have taken down the video. In a comment on Reddit, they said they had a request to remove the post and all public material. And basically, what my hypothesis is, here's a picture of it. What my hypothesis is that this company, IKEA, they probably just don't want people to realize how easy their crap is to hack. It's probably like, hey, everyone's buying smart stuff. Quick, get the cheapest, crappiest Chinese firm to put together some smart stuff. And a hacker looked at the thing and probably put Doom on it in 5 minutes or so, indicating how bad the thing was. But yeah, now we're living in a world, I mean, Doom runs on printers and refrigerators and microwaves and birth control tests or pregnancy tests, I guess it was, and now on smart light bulbs. But I gotta say, that might be the best thing ever. I had mentioned this to a friend of mine today. He says, you know what? I wouldn't be requested to take this stuff down. I'd be using it as marketing stuff. I'd be making this as available on the individual website to say, look at what you can do on our light bulb, you tech geeks. They'd sell more of those than they would smart light bulbs for any other reason. Well, the Democrats in Congress are introducing a bill to decriminalize all drugs, not just weed, everything. You know, kind of like Oregon's done, which is really working really well for Oregon. You know, over there, last Thanksgiving, it was actually legal to have meth, but illegal to have Thanksgiving with your family. Explains what's going on in the state. Well, now they want to push this nonsense here. So you can make the prohibition argument, well, you know, get rid of this and it'll get rid of all the problems. There is a fundamental problem with that, though. I don't know. I think the prohibition was probably a bad thing, but I don't know if you've ever known anybody on meth or crack or any of those, but it'll mess you up something fierce. A whole lot more than other things. And keeping it illegal is certainly a little bit better of a process. You know, I could probably meet you in the middle, like, sure, if you're 21, you want to go smoke some pot or something, you enjoy yourself. But they're basically working on a decriminalization, very much like is the nonsense going on over there in Oregon right now. And it's not exactly working out well for them. But I want to focus on a health-centered approach rather than arrests. Why? Because, of course, drug arrests are racist. Why not, right? Because in our communities, we watch so many people go broke from paying fines for drugs. Stop using drugs. They're actually not good for you. I don't want to say too much there, but I've actually worked with some close people who have had issues with some of these things, and it is devastating to the people involved. And I was in the middle of it trying to help remediate some of the circumstances. And it was an interesting thing. So the idea here is that what they're doing is they are saying they would end criminal penalties for personal use possession at the federal level, expunge criminal records, and shift the regulatory authority from the Attorney General to the Secretary of Health and Human Services. And we know that office is running on all legs there. To emphasize that substance use is a health issue and not a criminal issue. And so under the act, people could still face fines for drug possession, but a court could waive the fine if the person is unable to pay. The act would require Health and Human Services to establish a commission on substance abuse, health, and safety. Because, guys, government programs work so well, they just get everybody off it. I mean, look at the handouts we give for, it just doesn't work. But anyway, one of the ways that the federal government is doing things in the current administration, they're very much playing Gestapo and mafia tactics. You go ahead and do what we have to do, or we'll go ahead and do what we have to do. So basically what they're doing is to limit the state and local governments from being able to receive funds under the COPS grant programs, which help fund state and local police departments if they do not decriminalize policies. So in other words, if you don't decriminalize it in your state, the federal government will not help pay for your police force. So this is a train wreck. This is a complete train wreck. Now, maybe we shouldn't be throwing people in jail for having small amounts of drugs, maybe moving them into, into places where rehab. But in reality, guys, that is already an option. It is already an option. If you are picked up on these things, you already have the option. You can go to jail or you can go to rehab. Unless you have a repeated cases. This is a non-issue. All this is about is the federal government grabbing more control and punishing states who don't want to go lockstep with their federalist policies. And we should be leaving all these types of things into the state's hands. If Oregon wants to destroy itself, let's go ahead and let Oregon destroy itself. That's just fine. But let's leave the rest of the states to do what they want to do without getting the federal government involved. And there's some stuff I could say about some school type stuff as well. But we'll go ahead and save that for another day. But this is a bunch of nonsense. This is absolutely crazy nonsense. This is just inviting a world where it becomes easier and easier and easier to get such substances, and easier and easier and easier for people to get into the world of such substances, which will destroy you. This is insane, but it completely explains everything that's going on in Congress. Yeah, anyway, if you want to help support the channel, have a look over on Subscribestar, subscribestar.com/switch2linux. You can jump on over there and help. And if you are on Subscribestar, guys, we have information on the super secret project. It's also over there on Patreon and on Think Life Media. If you are a supporter and you have not seen those videos yet, you can jump on over and have a look at those. And also let me know in the comments in the thread here as we wrap up the day, should we just release that video we had to the rest of the public, or should I cut and release some new footage down the road? Anyway, guys, we will talk to you later. Thank you for watching this video from Switched-to-Linux. This channel would not be possible without the backing of the program supporters scrolling on the screen now. You can be a supporter at Patreon at patreon.com/TOMM or at thinklifemedia.com. I also want to thank the open source community who creates such excellent software that makes producing this show possible. Please remember to support your software communities. Thank you, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.